Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're focusing on the rear of the Brat. We're going to focus on reducing this wheel gap, which is currently about 5 inches. So it's way too much. So we need at least 1 to 1.5 inches, so maybe 2 fingers width there. I like my wheels to fit flush up against the fender. Not tucked, not doing any of that stuff, but we just want to minimize this wheel gap. So this is the wheel gap on my 2004 WRX, and you can see it's about 1.5 fingers to 2 fingers. So this is what we're going for. So the Brat works on a torsion bar slash shock suspension. And so the arm is here, the shock supports makes it have a smooth ride over bumps, and then you have your torsion, which is holding up the actual weight of the car. And so inside this tube is an actual bar that's splined. The idea is that you take the nut off here, it's about a 12mm nut, then from the inside of this you knock it out, you move the arm where you want it, and then you knock it back in, and then that way you can set your ride height with the torsion bar. So on the end here we'll mark it with a paint marker, that way we can set it back to where we want if we do end up messing up. But right now we're going to knock out this torsion bar and then set the ride height where we want it. What I'm going to do is actually raise up this jack so we can get the weight of the car off the wheels. Hopefully you can see this right here is the torsion bar, and so it's out and it's actually loose. So now the idea is that we're going to raise this wheel up where we want it, we can knock it back in, and then we should be good to go. Well, that's quite a bit lower. Oh yeah, that's a 2-inch drop right there. So I just lowered the jack down, the body weight, but I want it lower than that. So I'm gonna figure out how to jack this up. I'm sure the shock itself is probably preventing a lot of this, so we might have to get a shorter shock, which is okay, it's a pretty simple shock design. So I'm gonna see what I can come up with to move this down a little bit. It also could be the other side that's holding it up a tad, but we're gonna focus on one side at a time. So let me see what I can do. guys how this works, because I was not anticipating going this far, but this is the actual torsion bar. As you can see, there's a spline here and a spline here, and it puts tension on this as the arm goes up and down. Now this one appears to be stuck on the mount here. It's just possibly it's rusted in. Hopefully now that we've got it on the table, it should be pretty easy to get off. We might have to put it in the vise and see where we're at, but I'm gonna give this a little hit here and see if we just have to loosen it up. We'll spray some PV blaster on there, let that kind of sit down in there for a minute. I'm really lucky that the bolts came off holding on these mounts, because if they were rusted to the body, we would have been in big trouble. So let's see what we can do here. Let that just sit there and hopefully heat that up for a little bit. Alright, so it's been a couple days, guys, and I cannot get the torsion bar out of the body mount on the driver's side of the Brat. So reach out to a buddy of mine who's doing a WRX swap in one of these cars. So thank you, Matt, for sending me a new torsion bar and mount that are not seized together. So I really appreciate that. So here's the new to me torsion bar and the body mount. And so as you can tell, it should operate and function like this, where you can actually connect the two or separate the two. And so we're gonna get this on the car. No.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
Oh, man. I didn't even think about that. You can't. Oh, no, because of the angle. Crap. All right. Got the right height set. I think I'm happy with this. I said I didn't want to tuck it. It almost looks like it's tucked. So I'm gonna stare at it for a couple days, leave it up here on the lift. Got some other things I want to do. and see if I like it. But both sides are done. Huge thanks to Matt for sending me the torsion bar and body mount on the driver's side. Helped a lot. My old one was seized, so I'm really happy. So thank you, Matt. Thank you. So we're gonna move on to the front now. I want to set the ride height in the front because obviously that's gonna affect in the rear as well. So the front is a little high. So we're gonna move the jack to the front, jack up the front, adjust the coilovers, lower it down, and see how this thing looks when everything is set where I want it. Well, the BRAT is lowered, and I have to say, she looks great. I'm very happy with it. We'll just have to see how she rides once we get on the road and make some minor tweaks here and there. But overall, I'm really happy with this and how this all turned out and how we were still able to use the factory suspension in the rear and then use the coilover / modern day Impreza suspension up front to get the exact ride height that we wanted. In the next video, we're gonna work on the floor pans. I'm really determined to get these done. That's all I'm gonna focus on for the next couple of weeks. A couple of videos ago, you saw us rip out all of the old metal, all the rust and everything, and now we're ready to put in new metal. We're ready to seam seal it, paint it, and get the interior and at least all the rust situated for now. And then we can move on to the drive shaft, axles, radiator, engine upgrades, and then in the future, we will be putting on the water to air intercooler setup, which I think is going to be really cool. So please follow along with me, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.